Hey guys, what's going on? It is Spot the Aussie here with a brand new Motorsport Manager video. It has been a while, but we are back at the beautiful sunny side, Montreal. It's actually not that beautiful on that sunny side because it is pouring down in rain. Tire tread is going to be complete wet, so we've never raced on a track that's been completely wet before, so it's going to be a little bit of an eye-opener. I've done something on your request, because you guys wanted to see Stoffel Vandoorne. I've brought him in as my second tier driver. I've replaced Button and put him into the reserve slot. Now Vandoorne's stats aren't as good. We know that for a fact, but we want to get him in there so he can eventually get experience and boost up his stat potential as fast as it possibly can, and that's going to happen through practice and through racing. Now what we can see here through, just got a text message, what we got here from our qualifying session is that the top three guys, Hamilton, Vettel and Rosberg, were 2 seconds ahead of everyone else. Then there was Red Bull Racing at 2 seconds. Then the other Red Bull, Ferrari, and then us at 2.8, just in front of Williams. So that's a funny thing because the other cars seem to be getting faster and improving much more than what we're doing at the moment as well, which is really surprising. And the other big surprise is Vandoorne actually qualified 13th. Overtake mode and attack mode off the grid for Alonso, then we'll check it down as soon as we go around the first corner. We don't want to get passed on the first corner, and that's why we're kind of doing that. And it might just take 2 to 3 corners to kind of get this field to work out and then tune it down a little bit, but we especially don't want to get passed by that Force India, and that's what they're trying to do. They've gone around the outside. Who was that? Hulkenberg goes around the outside of us. That is unbelievable. Vandoorne is up into 11th. I cannot believe that just happened. Ricciardo's up into 1st position. Is that Hulkenberg all the way up into 6th position or 5th position already? How has that Force India car absolutely split everyone? That is incredible. We're now fighting with Räikkönen trying to get that 7th spot back while Hulkenberg holds up the rest of the grid. Vandoorne is up into 10th position, so he might be F1 fit without knowing. He's only 1 spot, well 2 spots behind Button, or Alonso, who's the lead driver at the moment. He's definitely much higher than what I would have predicted Button to be up. But now we've made a pass back on Hulkenberg. We're fighting for that position. We might just go to super overtake mode to push away a little bit here. I don't want to get caught up in a battle with Hulkenberg. That's really going to cost us greatly if we were. And we're just going to hold that inside line. Vandoorne is all the way over the back of Massa at the moment. So Bottas has lost out. He's gone back a couple of positions so far. He's in a conserve mode as we speak as well. And we want to start to look after those tyres. Alonso seems to have locked up at some point because he's down to 80%, which is actually pretty scary, to be honest. That's not good. That's not good at all. We're going to leave him into super overtake mode to chew up as much fuel as he possibly can. Then, once the grid sort of sets itself out, we'll go back into medium mode and hold it for as long as we possibly can as well. But we want to chew it up. As soon as we get all over the tail of Räikkönen, we're going to pull that back. We're going to pull the trigger off because we just want to hold in there. Remember, Räikkönen and Verstappen are the 2 guys we want to get in front of. I believe that we could possibly work out a 5th position here somehow. Let's just wind it back now. We're all over the tail of him. We don't want to get caught up in a battle. Vandoorne is now dropping. He's now just a little bit more complacent. Get him into push mode. He's still in the high mode with the engine. Yeah, it's good stuff so far from the 2 drivers. Sebastian Vettel is even locked up. His tyres are looking a bit ordinary. He's on the 76 mode. Daniil Kvyat, the wet weather is making people lock up just as much. But the thing is, when you lock up, it shouldn't use up as much more percentage as if you were in the dry. Because remember, you're skidding along a more flatter surface, a wetter surface, so it doesn't corrode the tyres. So that's something that they probably haven't put in there, but that's something that would be awesome if it was. Let's get Alonso to push a little bit. See how the tyre temperatures is just below halfway. We want to get that into the middle, so it's a balance between performance and also the duration, or how long the tyre is going to last. So at 70%, that's actually 70% for Alonso. That's not bad. We have to keep a careful eye on the weather though, because the weather could adjust. It could do anything crazy. A cyclone could come through and wipe out all the cars. Remember, we've never raced in a full wet circuit before, ever. In my 6 or 7 seasons, I've never seen it. And it's really what's the word I'm looking for? It's really, Vandoorne's now locked up, so he's on 66%. It's really important, crucial that we watch out. And it looks like at lap 8, it's going to dry out a little bit. Out of curiosity, how long do these tyres last? 12 to 14. And they're for the wet weather. Yeah, okay. So we have to make a call in a couple of laps if we're going to go to intermediates. Because that dryness loses about 1/5 of the dampness. That means it's probably going to be dry. And it's a little bit cloudy with a little bit of sun. But you got to remember, even though the sun comes out, it's going to still remain wet for a long time because of how damp this track is. Vandoorne, how's he going thus far? He's into 12th position. He's doing a good job. He's sticking in there. He's got the experience, Perez, Hulkenberg, Massa, and Bottas ahead. Remember, Vandoorne scores 1 point. That will mean, let's go back into neutral over the back of Räikkönen again. It seems to be funny. We have this seesaw effect where we catch up to these guys and then they slow down and we catch up and then we go fast and we slow down. Alonso's a wet weather master to some degree. He is good in the wet. He has high adaptability stats, which means he doesn't tremble when there's a thunderous sky up above. But if Vandoorne can score 1 point, that's going to put him up into 17th in the championship. Remember, he's like 21st at the moment. And the Sabre team and Haas team, I don't believe, have scored a point. So he'd automatically be pushed up a couple of spots. We're down to 46% tyre tread. It is going to get drier at lap 9. So what that means is we can actually start to push on these tyres. Because I believe we're going to get to 25% in a matter of 2 laps by pushing. Actually, no, we don't want to do that just yet. We want to go back into medium mode. Just hold it. Just hold it. Let's be safe. And then we can absolutely push as much as we possibly can when it dries out. It looks like we're going to go into intermediate tyres. The reality is, if we get to lap 9, it looks like it's going to get dry by lap 7. It's... by lap 14, it's much better that we pit for intermediates, do like 5 to 6 laps on intermediate tyres, then come out on dries. Because going out on wet tyres in a dry track will absolutely strip these tyres anyway. But if we go out on, if we stay out and then go into dry tyres while it's still a little bit wet, it will be detrimental to our lap times. We'll be doing 10 seconds a lap slower, and we'd possibly pass anyone that's going to try that strategy of going straight to dries. So I'm happy for another team to try that at kind of their will, their fate. And look at that, the gap between Alonso to Räikkönen has dropped again. It's down to 3.7. It's down. It's up to 3.7 seconds. Winding down the clock now, waiting for this weather change. Bottas has crashed. Bottas has crashed. Virtual safety car, 28 seconds. Do we want to pit now? No, I don't think we want to pit. Even though everyone's going to be slowing down, if we pit, we'd be caught out on wet weather tyres again. So we're better off just going around. I'm surprised it's only a virtual safety car considering how wet it is. But those 17 seconds wouldn't be worth the adjustment. It's good because, look at that. We're going to go back into neutral mode and not use up as much tyres. As soon as it's ready, we're going to go back into medium mode, into push mode. That was good for us. So we've caught back up on the fuel a little bit there. But we might look to pit next lap or the lap after. Remember, we're going to have to do at least 1 lap below 25% tyre degradation, which means the performance might go down a little bit, but we're keeping in there. Our last lap was a 2:07. We can't include that lap because we were slowed down by the virtual safety car when we crossed over, so that's fine. And Vandoorne is saying he's struggling on those tyres. They're starting to get a little bit weary. But not this lap, but the next one, I would want to come out in intermediates and see how everyone else goes. Is anyone else going to pit? That's the question. The advantage is because all these other guys are ahead of us and leading the race, they all determine what the hell's going on with the strategy portion of it. And it's just still, it's so damp still. It is still so damp. There's no point coming in for intermediates because those tyres would not work in this weather. We'd lose about 10 seconds that we'd gain by using up those tyre treads, and we'd lose the percentage of tyres. So we're going to have to go into a fast forward mode and get this lap going around. How's Alonso going then? He did a 156. That's what Ricciardo did, surprisingly. Rosberg did, and Hamilton was a little bit faster. The cars in between us were a lot faster. Räikkönen doing a 153. But Vandoorne seems to be in a good position to score at least 1 point, given that Bottas just crashed. If he can leapfrog Perez, Massa, or Hulkenberg, let's go to complete attack mode while we come around. We're definitely going to come in now for those tyres for a bit of a change. Let's see what the rest of the field does. Are they going to come in now, given the... no, they're going to go out one more time by the looks of it. Everyone's going to start one more lap. No, actually, correction. Is anyone pitting? Yep, Verstappen's pitting. We're going to pit on that note. So here comes the intermediate tyres, park condition. Everything is fine. Pit strategy balanced. How many laps can we get out of them? We can get up to 12 laps. So that's quite a lot. We're going to do the same for Vandoorne. Here he comes. He's going to come into the pits. Park condition's fine. And let's just see Ricciardo's lap time. He did a 152 on that last lap. So they've gone about 3 seconds faster. And here we go now. Alonso's in the pits. Looks like Magnussen's going to pit behind Vandoorne. Hopefully he can do a great job. It's a good stop for Alonso, who goes straight out. 5-second stop. We're out into intermediates. Everyone behind us is pitting as well. Up into neutral mode. Go, 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 go. What's Vandoorne's time going to change? I really suck at pronouncing these funny names. Vandoorne. Can I just call him Vandoorne? That's his name anyway, isn't it? Here we go. We're going to start pushing into driving style medium. And it looks like we've leapfrogged Perez. Perez is now under threat from Magnussen. So they've made a bit of a drama of that stop. What is Ricciardo Rosberg's time going to be? Surely these guys are going to pit now. It looks like they're absolutely struggling at the moment on those tyres. They're all going to come in. How much slower are they on that last set? Yeah, they've all come in. It'll be interesting to see the gap between 5th and the rest of those guys up ahead. Coming in, 18 laps remaining. It looks like NASA's going to get lapped as well. I mean, the added bonus that they're going to have is they're going to have one more lap of tyre degradation than we will have. Lewis Hamilton overtakes Nico Rosberg for the lead. The big thing about that was that they had to double stack as well. Because they had to double stack, that means they would have lost out on a little bit of time as well, which is good for us in some degree. How are we? So the gap's pretty much shorter. We're down 11 seconds from Räikkönen. And we might struggle to get in that 6th position. Remember, the top 3 teams are just that much more better than everyone else with their car. And we're now under threat from the Force India. So we're going to push Vandoorne to hopefully, you know, battle Hulkenberg and Perez as much as he can. He's now shut the door, and Magnussen has gained a spot. So Perez, far from gaining a spot, has now lost a spot in its position, and we're now absolutely pushing that car. We might do the same with Alonso. We're going to push it. We've got the fuel to do it. We don't have anything to gain behind us because Massa's 15 seconds behind, but just in case something happens around this mid part of the track, I might just go into medium mode. There's no point us pushing right now. Verstappen just posted the fastest lap of the race. That's a big surprise, but I expect that to be beaten the minute Hamilton, Ricciardo, and everyone else does another lap themselves. We're now posting our fastest laps of the race as well. Get up into push mode because those tyres, the temperature just seems to be struggling to get them up into par. And how's the weather looking? It looks like it's going to get dry, and dry. I just want one more lap to confirm that it's not going to peak up and just stay down, because that means we can push on these intermediate tyres, get them out in soft tyres. The gap to Räikkönen has just stuck at 11 seconds. Where is Vandoorne? Where's our boy Van Dam? I keep trying to say Van Dam. If I say Van Dam, so be it. So Van Dam is into 10th position. Magnussen's done a great job keeping Perez behind him, which has actually helped us quite a lot. And Dami's actually doing his fastest lap of the race. Alonso just set a 145, much slower than the guys behind us by about a second. But Ricciardo just did a much slower time as well, while Hamilton did a 141. So that little battle pack that Ricciardo, Vettel and Rosberg have is actually slowing all their cars down. Vandy is now up into 10th. He's now challenging for 9th. Let's get him to go into conserve mode, push those tyres. And look at that. As I predicted, in a couple of laps, it's going to get wet again. So we want to push these tyres into the wet zone and then pit one more time. And hopefully know what the weather's going to do forecast-wise. That would be amazing if we did. But better yet, I really hope for a safety car. We're saving fuel for Alonso purely because if we can, the pack can be rebunched back up. What that will mean is, oh, who are these guys? Oh, has everyone else just pitted again? No way. No way. While it's been dry for like a lap or two, the guys around us have just pitted again. So that is Hamilton, Rosberg, Ricciardo, Vettel, Verstappen, Räikkönen, everyone's pitting, but it's going to get wet in like 2 to 3 laps. Let's just stick it out and then push these tyres as much as they possibly can into... I would pray that a safety car would come out just about now. That would be absolutely amazing. Let's get Alonso into super overtake mode to battle with these guys and hold them up. Not necessarily hold them up, but not get held up. As soon as he gets around, I just can't believe that they've pitted on that go. We've now leapfrogged into those positions. Everyone's pitting. We're the only cars out there on intermediate tyres. And it's going to get completely wet again. See, this is the risk that we're running. We're getting absolutely tread on by the fact that we're on the wrong tyres at the moment. I mean, they are making a big show of us right now because they are on the right tyres. And this is going to show you how much the right tyres can make that big of a difference. They've just done, Hamilton's done a 140 straight out of the pits. Our last lap was a 146. So I'm happy to keep on this strategy if it's going to rain very shortly, and it will. But what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to be able to go on to straight to wets, or do we want to go to intermediates? How long is it going to be absolutely torrential for? This is big. This is high stakes poker happening right here. And how long can these tyres last? Not very long by the looks of it. We're still in 7th position. We're fighting Massa. No, we're not. Massa's all the way back here. So I'm happy to make that gamble with Alonso. So it's not really a cough up by the other cars because they've been able to make up those times purely by doing one lap on the drier tyre. So in about a lap's time, it's going to start to pour. I'm hoping it will start to pour earlier than later, and that's when they're going to absolutely struggle. So let's go back into conserve mode for Alonso. Vandoorne now into 11th, and hopefully it completely starts to bucket down as soon as possible because we want these guys to completely be caught out while we're on 20% tyre tread. Painful. Painful, painful, painful. We've definitely given up on 6th position. Now, the reason why I'm happy to make that strategy call is because look at it from this point of view. If we don't pit, if we pit with them, we wouldn't have gained that 11 seconds regardless. Because it's now raining, everyone else is coming out to pit now for full wets. Oh my god. Should we now pit then? I think we're going to have to pit for full wets, aren't we? Yes, we are. So we're going to pit now for wets because we can't live on those tyres anymore. Balance, stop. There we go, straight in. Vandoorne's going to do the same thing. So if we stay out on their strategy, we would have struggled on those softer compounds. We're going to pit. We've lost a bit of ground. Vandoorne has absolutely lost a lot of ground, so we might have stuffed up his race. Has someone just crashed? No, that's just a warning. It's a warning to tell us Alonso had a really bad stop by 5 seconds, and we're now actually behind Massa in all of that. That is not good stuff for us at all. Vandoorne's now coming in. Vandoorne is now out of the top 10. He goes out in the wet tyres. We're going to absolutely have to push those tyres to try to come back into this battle. And we might do the same for both cars. We have excess fuel. Are we going to be lapped? That is the big question here. Let's just get into super... Oh, I don't want to go into super overtake mode. I just want to go into... Yeah, let's go into super overtake mode for a little bit. It's starting to absolutely piss down here. Hamilton, where is he? I believe Hamilton's going to lap Alonso by the end of this race. So I'm happy to keep pushing as much as we possibly can. And we can push on these tyres because they're going to have excess tread. Everyone's pushing around us. So let's push just as much as them. That's the call right now to happen, and let's wind the clock forward. Vandoorne is now attacking Palmer. Can we get up into 10th position? I don't know if it's possible. We're kind of hoping that a crash happens in order for that to happen. He's now trying to overtake Palmer. So I guess the right strategy here would have been to pit, do 3 to 4 laps on the drier compounds, and then try to work it out. But I'm confident that we're going to be able to get by. We've locked up, but I was confident that we're always going to be able to get by Massa anyway. No dramas there. We'll be able to push away from him. We'll just go into medium mode. Everyone else is going to attack. Absolutely insane. Push. We're going to go into overtake mode as well. And I don't know. Surprised more cars haven't crashed. I'm actually losing my voice a little bit here. But we're going to push away from the guys behind us. And Massa's now just dropping back. So that's a good little battle pack to be a part of. I don't think Vandoorne's actually going to be able to come up into the top 10 now. We might have stuffed up his race. It looks like the right call. Again, like I was just saying, pit, dry tyres for 3 to 4 laps, then come out on the rainier compounds. the AI have actually got this perfectly correct, because each lap costs us about 8 to 10 seconds. And, yeah, right now we're just trying to save face by getting him to push and get by as many cars as he possibly can. He's in the 14th position, so it's not a bad job. And who's next on the calendar? Sainz? Yep. 13th, 12th, Magnussen, 11th. So yeah, that's something to note for our future races. If it is going to rain and then dry and then rain again, we might just have to play out the strategy that much more to that degree in terms of just making those shorter pit stops and getting the 10-second bonus. I think in real life, in reality, I think we would have been okay. I think that would have been fine to have done what we just did. Like, stuck it out for 3 laps on the dry, on the intermediates, and then gone into the pits for the wets, and not have lost so much time. There you go. Where is 6th position? He's not going to get lapped. Hulkenberg is now... is close enough behind us where we're going to push. Kvyat is now pitting as well, so we're going to move up into 13th position. So it's now Sainz, Magnussen, Perez all ahead of us. And we're still pushing those cars. It's going to be 3 laps to go. It's a bit of an anticlimactic finish, unfortunately. I feel like the cars are just that much better still. We were just losing time just purely over the distance of each lap. It's absolutely insane. But one thing I will note, this track likes rear wing, suspension, and engine. They're crucial for this track. Guess what? That is the components of our car that don't work really well. And one thing that would be perfect for us is if there was a safety car for Vandoorne to get pushed back into this battle. One thing I will be interested to see is how much of an improvement he will get in terms of his stats. So that's one thing to keep a bit of an eye on. Remember, his stats reflect where he comes each race. So we'll just get him to push in this last bit of the track. 0.08 of fuel. He should be able to just make the line, and then it will cough. He makes it fine. That's fine. That's good. Vandoorne probably will not have enough fuel. And where is 14th in relation to him? And now it's going to start to cough. What if we put him in overtake mode while he's coming across the line? Is that going to... No, he's going to get pushed back into... No, he finishes in 13th. So it didn't really matter by the fact that we ran out of fuel. I'm interested now to see what potential he's now increased, because he actually got to practice and race. And will he have a bit of a bonus of his mechanic trait, of the mechanic relationship, because he did alright in that race. 13th is pretty good for a debut. Like, let's not lie about it. Car, struggling, not the right track for us. See that? They pitted, they did 4 laps, where we did 9. I think in real life, those 4 laps, they would not have been able to catch that much as they did. So that's a little bit crazy. Vandy, I'm going to call him Vandy from now on because it's Vandoorne. It's just not is in there. That just stuffs me up. So Alonso's morale goes up by 1.75. His fitness goes down dramatically. What the fuck just happened there? Did he get hurt? It looks like he's now in a neck brace, which is a scary thought, because now that would have sucker punched him down. It's actually brought him to almost 4 stars, whereas everyone else, like Button's got higher stats. So we might have to replace Alonso with Button because of that issue. I don't know. But that might also be why his lap times are starting to pull off as well near the end of that race. But yeah, Vandy, look at those stat increases. 1%, 4%, 3%, 2%, 3%, 1%. And he has the potential to be better than both Alonso and Jenson Button. So that's a great result for us. We're going to get a little bit of cash in the bank because we met our target. What was the chairman's... Wow, here we go. So here is another ultimatum. Your performance just isn't up to scratch. If you don't finish 3rd in the next race, you're fired. So we're now on the brink of another board kick out. Let's check out what track we're at next. Is it going to be the track where it's going to be good for us? Brakes, yes. Front wing, I believe so. Front wing. 2nd, yep. Gearbox, 7th. 2 of 3 isn't bad. So let's hope, guys, that we're able to pull this together and get 3rd and have a job by tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to be a bit of strife. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Give this video a like if you're enjoying the series thus far. And I will check you guys out shortly. Whoosh.